A teen who can manipulate someone's reality through illusions becomes the target of two conflicting organizations with mysterious agendas. In Spain, Vicente enters a store to steal liquor, hiding bottles in his jacket. His gifted son Ian casts an illusion to help them escape undetected. The teen manipulates the clerk's perception, ensuring she overlooks the theft as his dad pays for gum. Exiting the store, the thief instructs Ian to maintain the illusion as he returns to the truck. Unfortunately, the teenager gets distracted and fails to sustain the projection when a stranger abruptly labels him a freak. As a result, the clerk realizes that the bottles are missing. Furious, she exits the store with her hammer and attempts to smash Vicente's truck. Ian distracts the woman and makes her believe he's pointing a gun at her. In the ensuing chaos, he pretends to shoot her, triggering a strange phenomenon where he experiences the clerk's memory of grieving for her mother. Noticing this, Vicente brings his son back to his senses. Afterward, they both drive off as they hear the police arriving. The cop exits his car to assist the clerk, who, upon realizing she isn't injured, urges him to pursue the thieves. As the officer gives chase, Ian voices his dissatisfaction, questioning the point of minor thefts when they could be targeting a bank for more money. However, Vicente implies that it will only attract people who want to get the teen due to his ability. As the cop commands them to stop, Ian makes the policeman think there's a hailstorm, causing the vehicle to flip and slide to the gas station. Unbeknownst to Vicente and Ian, Dr. Adriana, a neuroscientist searching for them, discovers what they have done through the security cameras. The following day in their abandoned ship, Ian dreams of a white room where his late mother sings to him as a baby. When the woman suddenly screams, the teenager awakens, catching his breath. Shortly after, Vicente prepares a special breakfast for his son's 18th birthday. After Ian thanks him, the man shares his plan to secure a job as a mechanic, allowing the teenager to concentrate on his biology degree. Then, Vicente shows Ian a photo of his mom, taken when the teen first discovered his unique ability. Suddenly, Ian rises and tells his dad he wants to go to the arcade to celebrate his special day like an average person. However, Vicente doesn't allow him, emphasizing the danger due to their status as wanted individuals because of their theft. Hearing this, Ian feels terrible. Before he exits the door, his dad gives him his birthday present, but he doesn't open it. Entering his room, the teen vents his anger by striking his training dummy. Soon after, he escapes through the window to go to the arcade. In a bar, the cop talks about a hailstorm he claims to have seen. The bartender finds it strange since there's never been a hailstorm in the area. The perceiver, who casts illusions, overhears this conversation. He is interested in the teen with the same ability as him. The agency team raids Vicente's ship that night, finding him watching TV. Adriana searches for Ian, but another agent contacts her, revealing that he located the teen at the arcade. Unbeknownst to them, the perceiver is already in the amusement center to get Ian. When he notices two agents, he beats one up and copies the fallen man's voice to tell Adriana there's a perceiver in the area. Alarmed, the neuroscientist instructs her agents to prioritize catching their enemy. The agent shoots the perceiver, who's heading towards the exit, unaware that it's just an illusion created by his target behind him. Nearby, Ian is in silent shock as he observes someone else with the same ability as him. The perceiver attempts to use his power on Ian, but an agent intervenes, covering the man's head with a special helmet that blocks his ability. Suddenly, two agents arrive and invite Ian to go with them. One of them, Esther, advises the teen not to look at the strange man. Meanwhile, the perceiver fights the agents in the VR room. Despite being surrounded, he takes them down with impressive fighting skills. Afterward, he removes his helmet and looks for the teen. Esther and another agent bring Ian outside, where he meets Adriana, who invites him inside the truck. There, he panics when he sees his unconscious father strapped to a seat. Moments later, the neuroscientist ties up the teen, places a special helmet on him, and takes a blood sample. To stop the agency team, the perceiver conjures an illusion of a truck blocking the road. Adriana's driver witnesses this but keeps going, following the neuroscientist's advice not to believe the illusion. Later, a confused Ian awakens in the facility, prompting Adriana to share the agency's history. It's an organization that conflicts with awareness, a group formed by people with the same abilities as Ian called perceivers. The woman explains that the perceivers have been manipulating influential individuals for years. Due to this, the agency aims to stop their influence and restore true democracy. Adriana then tells Ian that the perceiver, the last member of awareness, wants him. However, the woman proposes that the teen side with her instead. She claims that the formula in his blood can cancel the enemy's powers. Suddenly, Adriana asks Ian about the limits of his projections. He admits difficulty with illusions involving people. To help him improve, she suggests using strong emotions to project a desired illusion. She requests he put her at a beach with a mojito and a chihuahua. Ian laughs and explains that his powers don't quite work that way. To bring out strong emotions, she reminds him of his sad childhood and shows a photo of his mother. Because of this, he successfully creates the doctor's requested illusion with a minor alteration, a fly instead of a chihuahua. Following this, Adriana directs him to bring her back to reality but challenges him to make the fly follow her forever, creating a permanent illusion. However, Ian, annoyed, dismisses the illusion and insists on seeing his dad. Granting his request, Adriana takes him to another room to meet Vicente. The neuroscientist urges the teen to unlock his second power, access to other people's memories. She encourages him to get inside Vicente's mind to learn the truth about his mom. Ian follows the advice and learns that Vicente used to work for the agency. During a sudden alarm in the facility, he abducted him when he was a baby. Afterward, the teen leaves his adoptive dad's mind, causing the older man to pass out. However, he feels upset upon realizing that Vicente had lied to him. Later, the neuroscientist shows Ian's blood test results to an American man, highlighting the teen's potential but revealing he doesn't have the formula. Adriana suggests Ian likely inherited his powers from his parents, making him the first natural-born perceiver. When the American insists on eliminating Ian due to this information, Adriana refuses, stating Ian is their only defense against the mule. The American dismisses the mule as a myth, but Adriana emphasizes the need to be prepared. She mentions Ian might unlock a third power soon. The next morning, a mysterious doctor enters the facility and smirks when he discovers that Ian has a neurotropic factor that is off the charts. Meanwhile, Esther visits Ian in his room and urges him to escape the facility to avoid being treated like a lab rat. As they're about to enter the elevator, they are suddenly surrounded by guards. Swiftly, Esther eliminates their pursuers with a baton and taser gun. After rendering everyone unconscious, the duo steps into the elevator. Suddenly, as they descend, Ian persuades Esther to bring Vicente with him because his memories hold the answers he's seeking. Upon watching the CCTV footage, Adriana swiftly orders the alarms to sound and to chase after the escapees. Meanwhile, the mysterious doctor in the lab suddenly grabs a gun and shoots everyone, revealing himself to be the perceiver. While driving, Ian uses his power to deceive the guards and make them shoot in a different direction. However, their vehicle falls into a trap on the road, leading to flat tires. As a result, the car loses its back wheels, tumbling off the mountain road and crashing into the woods. Not long after, the perceiver reaches the crash site, but Ian creates an illusion, making the man see that the car isn't there. As the teen struggles to maintain it, the perceiver smiles and walks away. The trio then finds a motel for the night. During breakfast the next day, Ian asks Esther why she is helping him, but she sarcastically reveals she works for the awareness. Later on the rooftop, the teen expresses frustration at discovering that Vicente is not his real dad. In response, the woman moves closer to his face, attempting to kiss him, but the teen subtly rejects her advances. When they return to the room, they find Vicente passed out in bed from drinking. Esther suggests leaving the old man, but Ian insists on knowing the truth about his identity. In response, she proposes that the teen delve into his dad's memories again. Ian follows her advice and discovers Adriana holding a file that belonged to a patient named Kaminsky, who will be transferred to Warsaw. Then, the neuroscientist headed to the garage and handed the file to the driver, informing him that the formula would be injected that evening. The teen tries to learn more from the memory. When Adriana opened the van, there was a blinding white light. Behind the driver, a masked person with 3 missing fingers was there. Seeing this, Ian is shocked and snaps back to reality. Shortly after, Ian goes to the bank, crafting the illusion that he has a check for 5,000 euros. The teller hands him the money, but as the teen departs, she realizes the check is just a piece of paper with a note that says, "I'm sorry." Immediately, she calls for security, instructing them to chase after the thief. Ian and Esther run so fast that the security guards lose track of them. Back in the motel room, Esther rejoices, tossing the cash into the air in celebration. Suddenly, Ian becomes concerned because Vicente isn't there, prompting Esther to suggest that the man might be in the bar. After this, she steps into the bathroom to take a shower. Seconds later, Ian quickly tells the woman to stay put when he hears someone parking outside. Afterward, he hides in a corner and creates an illusion. When the perceiver steps inside, he finds an abandoned room but eventually discovers the truth by uncovering a mirror, revealing that projections don't work on reflective surfaces. Ian then attacks the intruder with Esther's taser gun. As they fight, the setting keeps shifting. Soon, the perceiver pushes him to the floor and tries to convince him that he's on his side. Despite this, the teen keeps fighting back. As he struggles, the man looks into his memories and discovers that he withdrew money to travel to Warsaw and look for Kaminsky. After this, Ian passes out, and the perceiver leaves. Later, Ian dreams of his mother again but gets interrupted when Vicente awakens him, scolding him for stealing from a bank. However, this leads to a heated argument. Ian is still mad at his adoptive dad for lying to him, but the man explains that he had to take him away for his protection. Tearfully, Vicente provides Ian with two options. Either he pursues a dangerous path or joins him to start a new life. Without hesitation, the teen chooses the first one. Meanwhile, Adriana gets notified that Ian brought train tickets, prompting the woman to order her team to follow the duo. When Ian and Esther arrive in Warsaw, the agents hide nearby, ready to attack. However, Perceiver appears in the location, eliminating them with his gun. When the duo finds the lab, they discover it's an abandoned building. As they investigate, Ian finds the room from his recurring dream. He recalls that he used to play there with his mom. The team then knocks on the walls. Upon hearing a tile with a hollow sound, he immediately breaks the wall, finding a room filled with documents. After checking out the files, he discovers a journal titled Project Awareness. Ian finds a photo of his mom clipped on one of the pages. When Esther reads the back of the photograph, she discovers that the woman is Ursula Kaminsky. They also learn that the person behind the experiment is Ian's grandfather. Meanwhile, Vicente returns to the abandoned ship where Adriana suddenly visits him. She informs him the perceiver is also pursuing Ian. When the man suggests leaving the teen alone, the woman asserts that she can't let him go because he's their only hope against the mule. In Warsaw, Ian discovers that Esther is cooperating with the perceiver, convincing him that the man will help him find answers. Despite this, the teen shoots at his enemy. However, the man sees through the illusion and walks right past him. As the perceiver continues to look around, he encounters multiple Ians. With Esther's help, he finds the real one and confesses that he's his biological father. However, the teen refuses to believe him. The perceiver then explains that they are products of a secret program in the 1950s. He narrates that he and Ursula were volunteers back then, and Kaminsky injected them with a formula that gave them extrasensory abilities. Because of that, they became spies who specialized in mental control. However, after the East-West conflict, the government feared that the volunteers might work with the enemy, so they decided to terminate them individually. Suddenly, the mule, the last and strongest of the perceivers, appeared. When the agents went after him, he counterattacked with his third power, the ability to control someone's will. He made the enemies turn against each other. After that, the mule regrouped the survivors and formed Awareness. He taught his members to go unnoticed and lead normal lives. The man notes that all perceivers are supposed to be sterile. However, he and Ursula had Ian, making the teen the first natural-born perceiver. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted when agents begin to enter the building. Despite Ian's resistance to believe his story, the man instructs Esther to take the teen to his house in Madrid. As the duo escapes, the perceiver confronts the agents. He shoots several of them and uses his ability to make the remaining ones believe that spiders are on their bodies. Once his enemies are distracted, the armed man continues eliminating them. Unfortunately, two agents appear and cancel his powers by placing a helmet on him. The duo reaches the rooftop, and Esther jumps to the ground. Ian escapes through the chute when an agent arrives and runs away with her. Later, the perceiver is brought to the agency's lab. Adriana then orders her team to extract the formula from his body. As the process causes the man intense pain, the American advises the woman to stop. Following the procedure, a scientist regretfully informs Adriana that the formula is so diluted in the perceiver's body that it's impossible to synthesize. The disappointed doctor reports this to the American, stating that Ian is their only hope against the mule. When the perceiver feels thirsty and requests water, the technician uses a robot to bring the glass to the man's face without removing his helmet. Seconds later, the man activates his third power, revealing that he's the mule. He controls the technician's hand, making him operate the robot to attack them. After some scientists and agents are eliminated, the mule manipulates the technician again so he can be released. In Madrid, Esther and Ian arrive at the perceiver's house. There, the teen meets his mom, who is in a catatonic state. As the teen approaches his mom, the perceiver arrives, telling him Ursula isn't completely gone. Ian then enters his mom's mind to access her memories. However, her physical body reacts, and she starts shaking. Seconds later, the perceiver joins them, revealing the torture Ursula endured. He discloses that she implanted the formula in Ian's mind before the agency caught her, meaning that the teen is the only one who has access to it. Ian encounters his baby self in his mom's memories, constructing the formula with toy blocks. The perceiver explains they can use it to create more of their kind and orders the teen to give it to him. When Ian hesitates, the man hits the wall, causing Ursula pain. The agony forces the woman to eject the teenager from her mind. After that, the struggling woman looks at her son, who tearfully sings a childhood song for her before she passes away. Suddenly, the agents quietly enter the house's gate. When they reach the room, they order the perceiver to stay away from Ian. However, due to his strong emotions, the teen activates his third power, gaining control over the agents and turning them against each other. He continues to do this to other agents, causing Esther to worry that he's going too far. As Ian walks outside, the agents step back while pointing their rifles at him. Suddenly, Adriana appears, commanding the teen to stop. However, a furious Ian makes everyone point their weapons to themselves. He then blames the neuroscientist for his mother's loss, and the perceiver encourages him to pull the trigger. Suddenly, Vicente arrives and warns Ian that the perceiver is manipulating him. The man then drops a gun, urging the teen to end his foster father. However, Ian refuses, stating his intention to get back at the agency for what they did to his mother. Vicente continues to intervene, but the perceiver orders the teen to listen to him because he's his biological father. Hearing this, the other man points out that he was the one who raised Ian. Triggered by the insulting statement, the mule controls Vicente into getting the gun and ending himself. When his foster dad falls, Ian rushes to him, releasing the others from his control. In the man's final moments, he asks Ian to enter his mind so he can discover the truth. The teen learns that Ursula asked Vicente to take him away for protection. Realizing this, he apologizes to his adoptive father before he passes away. Afterward, the vengeful Ian hunts for the perceiver, who has run away and taken Esther with him. Following this, the teen searches for them in another building with an ongoing party. Hearing Esther's voice among the crowd, he uses his powers to make the guests fall unconscious, revealing the perceiver holding the woman at gunpoint in the center of the room. Ian tries to control the perceiver's gun but fails. The mule begins directing the partygoers to attack the teen. In response, the teen makes the guests turn against each other. However, in the end, the mule controls a man to strangle Ian. Fortunately, Adriana intervenes and shoots the guy to save the teenager. Afterward, Ian confronts the perceiver for not caring about him. True enough, the man promises to release Esther once the teen shows him the formula. Hearing this, Adriana, who doesn't see the other woman, informs the teen that he is under a permanent projection. All this time, he is the only one who sees Esther. Remembering everything, Ian realizes that the perceiver had implanted the loop in his mind when they first encountered each other in the arcade. Esther pleads with him to drop the weapon, but Ian shoots, and the bullet goes through the woman's body, ending the perceiver's life. After this, a tearful Esther approaches the teen and hugs him tightly. Later, Adriana accompanies Ian as he visits Ursula and Vicente's graves. Leaving the cemetery, she convinces him to give up the formula. However, Ian refuses to engage in the conflict between the organizations and joins Esther in his truck, where she waits for him. There, the woman hands him Vicente's present, and Ian unwraps it and finds a book titled The Majesty of the Ocean. Inside, there's a heartfelt note from his foster father, encouraging him to be hopeful and adventurous. Shortly after, Ian and Esther share their first kiss. Before the teen drives away, he glances at the truck mirror. He sees Adriana speaking to someone invisible, revealing that the American is a permanent illusion in the neuroscientist's mind.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.